In a distant future, a beautiful and vibrant planet called Zenter is the scene of a historic event. For the first time, humans and aliens are coming together for important diplomatic talks. The atmosphere is filled with excitement and hope, as both sides seek to build a peaceful alliance. This meeting could change everything for the two species. Captain John Rivers, a brave and respected soldier, has been chosen for a vital mission: to protect Princess Lyra, an important member of the alien royal family. Princess Lyra is known for her intelligence and kindness. She believes that the future of both humans and aliens can be bright if they work together. Captain Rivers feels honored to guard her during this critical moment. He understands the weight of his responsibility. As the princess arrives at the Grand Space Station, the beauty of Zenter shines brightly in the background, symbolizing the potential for peace. However, just as the meeting begins and the delegates settle into their discussions, the atmosphere suddenly shifts. An unexpected danger lurks in the shadows. Without warning, a fleet of alien rebels, determined to disrupt the talks, launches a surprise attack from orbit. Their ships scream through the sky, and before anyone can react, the peaceful gathering erupts into chaos. Bright flashes of light fill the air as explosions rock the space station. People scream and scramble for safety. The once calm environment is now filled with smoke and debris, creating a scene of devastation. Captain Rivers quickly assesses the situation, his heart racing. He receives an urgent message on his communicator. The rebels have specifically targeted Princess Lyra. Panic grips him as he realizes that their lives are in grave danger. Understanding the urgency, Captain Rivers springs into action. He knows that time is of the essence. He quickly gathers a small team of skilled soldiers, each one handpicked for their bravery and expertise. Together, they rush toward the princess's location, determined to keep her safe. As they navigate through the chaos, the sounds of explosions and cries for help surround them. The team moves swiftly, dodging falling debris and burning wreckage. Rivers leads the way, his instincts guiding him through the smoke-filled corridors. With every step, he feels the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. The safety of Princess Lyra depends on him and his team. They push forward, adrenaline pumping, knowing that failure is not an option. As they draw closer to the princess's location, they encounter unexpected challenges. The rebels are fierce, and the fighting is intense. Rivers and his team engage in close-quarters combat, their training kicking in as they defend themselves against the attackers. The stakes are high, and the tension is palpable. Will they be able to reach Princess Lyra before it's too late? Finally, they arrive at the designated safe zone, but what they find is shocking. Instead of a quiet refuge, the area is filled with chaos. The alien rebels are locked in a fierce battle with another group, an unknown enemy that appears equally determined to take control. Captain Rivers realizes that the situation is more complex than he thought. The rebels are not the only threat in the area. With quick thinking, Rivers assesses the situation. He understands that saving Princess Lyra will require not only bravery but also strategy. He signals to his team, and they regroup to devise a plan. They need to rescue the princess while navigating this unexpected conflict. The clock is ticking, and every moment counts. As the battle rages around them, Rivers feels the weight of the world on his shoulders. He knows that the fate of the princess, the peace talks, and potentially the future of both humans and aliens rests in their hands. The suspense is thick in the air as they prepare to make their move. With a deep breath, Rivers leads his team into the fray. They move cautiously, using the environment to their advantage. Each member of the team plays a crucial role as they work together, combining their skills to create a path toward the princess. The tension escalates with every step they take. Will they succeed in their mission, or will the chaos consume them? The audience is left on the edge of their seats, fully engaged in this thrilling tale. As the action unfolds, the story highlights the bravery of Captain Rivers and his team, as well as the resilience of Princess Lyra. Their fight for survival and the quest for peace create a captivating narrative, filled with suspense, action, and emotional depth. The stakes have never been higher, and the journey has only just begun. As the chaos of battle swirls around them, Captain John Rivers and his team push forward with a singular focus to rescue Princess Lyra and ensure her safety. The sounds of laser fire and explosions echo through the corridors of the space station, creating an atmosphere thick with tension. Rivers leads the charge, adrenaline coursing through his veins as he navigates the smoke and debris, urging his team to remain calm and composed. "Stay sharp, everyone," he calls out, his voice steady despite the turmoil. "We need to find the princess and get her out of here." The team nods in agreement, their faces set with determination. Each soldier is equipped with advanced weapons and gear designed for combat, but their true strength lies in their unity and unwavering resolve. They know that they are up against a powerful enemy, and every second counts. As they advance, they witness the brutality of the battle unfolding around them. Alien rebels clash with the unknown adversaries, each side fighting fiercely for control. The sight is both awe-inspiring and terrifying. Rivers' heart races as he realizes just how dire the situation has become. Suddenly, a blast rocks the corridor, sending debris flying. Rivers instinctively pushes one of his team members, Sergeant Max, out of harm's way, taking the brunt of the impact himself. The force knocks him to the ground, but he quickly regains his footing. "I'm fine. Let's keep moving," he shouts, shaking off the pain. The team presses on, moving through the wreckage, their focus unwavering. Finally, they reach a heavily damaged control room where Princess Lyra was last seen. As they push the door open, they find themselves in the midst of a fierce firefight. The room is filled with smoke and chaos, with several soldiers from both sides battling it out. "Cover me," Rivers yells as he rushes into the room, scanning for any sign of the princess. His eyes land on a figure huddled behind a console. It's Princess Lyra, her expression a mix of fear and determination. Relief floods through him, but there's no time to waste. "Princess Lyra," Rivers calls out, moving toward her. "We're here to get you out. Follow me." She looks up, her eyes wide with hope. "Captain Rivers, I knew you would come, but we need to hurry. They are closing in." As Rivers leads the princess to safety, they encounter more rebels. The fighting intensifies, and the team must engage in close-quarters combat once again. Rivers fights fiercely, using his training and instincts to protect the princess at all costs. His team covers him, providing suppressive fire to keep the rebels at bay. "Move, move, move," he shouts, urging everyone to stay focused. Each step is a battle, but they make progress, slowly inching toward the exit. As they near the door, an enemy soldier blocks their path. Rivers swiftly reacts, tackling the soldier to the ground, and a fierce struggle ensues. In the heat of the moment, Rivers feels the adrenaline heighten. He can't let anything happen to Lyra. With a final push, he disarms the enemy, sending him sprawling. "Let's go," Rivers urges, scrambling to his feet and guiding Princess Lyra and the team out of the control room. They burst into the corridor, only to find more rebels waiting for them. The chaos of battle surrounds them, but they press forward, determined to escape. Just as they turn a corner, Rivers spots a window showing the outside of the space station. The view is breathtaking yet terrifying. The planet center glimmers below, a beautiful blue and green orb, but it's marred by the explosions lighting up the sky. It serves as a harsh reminder of what is at stake. "We need to reach the docking bay," Rivers shouts, his voice ringing with urgency. "That's our best chance to escape." With Lyra beside him and his team in formation, they race through the corridors, dodging blasts and avoiding falling debris. Every moment feels like a lifetime, and the tension rises with each step. Will they make it to the docking bay in time? As they navigate the chaos, Rivers can feel the weight of the situation pressing down on him. He glances at Princess Lyra, who is staying strong despite the fear in her eyes. "Stay close to me," he reassures her, and she nods, determination etched on her face. The battle rages on around them, but their focus remains on the mission. Together, they push through the obstacles, navigating a path filled with danger and uncertainty. The suspense is palpable. The audience is drawn into the action, wondering whether Rivers and his team will succeed in their daring escape. Finally, they reach the docking bay, but as they burst through the door, they are met with another surprise. The rebels have anticipated their move, and a fierce firefight erupts. Rivers realizes that their escape is far from guaranteed. But with his team by his side, he knows they will fight for their lives and for the future of both species. As the battle intensifies, the audience is left breathless, fully invested in this gripping tale of bravery, sacrifice, and the fight for survival. The stakes have never been higher, and the journey continues. As the fierce battle rages on around them, Captain John Rivers and Princess Lyra find themselves cornered in the bustling docking bay of the space station. The sound of blaster fire echoes through the air, mingling with the shouts of soldiers on both sides. Rivers can feel the tension rising, and the stakes have never been higher. They must find a way to escape before the rebels overrun their position. "Get to the shuttle," Rivers orders, his voice cutting through the chaos. The sleek spacecraft sits at the far end of the docking bay, a beacon of hope amidst the turmoil. "I'll cover you." Princess Lyra nods, determination gleaming in her eyes, and quickly rushes towards the shuttle. Rivers takes a position at the entrance of the docking bay, ready to defend their escape. His team spreads out, taking cover behind crates and equipment, firing at the approaching rebel soldiers. The rebels, fierce and relentless, press forward, their advanced weaponry lighting up the dimly lit bay. Rivers peers over his cover, spotting a group of rebels flanking their position. He knows they need to act quickly. "Skeet, Max, provide cover fire," he commands, and the sergeant immediately begins firing at the rebels, creating a distraction. Rivers takes a deep breath, adrenaline surging through him. He knows that time is running out. With a fierce battle cry, he leaps into action, charging towards the approaching rebels. He ducks and weaves through the blaster fire, his heart pounding in his chest. Just as Rivers reaches the first rebel, he takes the enemy by surprise. With a swift move, he disarms the soldier, using his own weapon against him. The rebel falls to the ground, and Rivers spins around, ready to take on the next attacker. His training kicks in, and he fights with fierce determination. Meanwhile, Princess Lyra and the rest of the team make their way to the shuttle. As they climb aboard, Lyra glances back at Rivers, her heart racing. She knows he is risking everything to ensure her safety. "We can't leave him," she shouts over the noise of the battle. Rivers catches her eye and gives her a reassuring nod. "I'll be right behind you. Get the ship ready to take off." With her heart full of courage and admiration for the human soldier, Lyra turns to her team. "Prepare for launch. We need to be ready to lift off the moment he joins us." As Rivers continues to fight off the rebels, he feels the weight of the situation pressing down on him. His team members are covering him, firing back at the oncoming foes, but the rebels are relentless. He knows he can't hold them off forever. With a quick glance, he sees that Lyra and the others are almost ready to leave. "Max, keep them busy," Rivers shouts as he takes another enemy soldier down. He maneuvers through the chaos, making his way closer to the shuttle. Each step is filled with danger, and he can feel the tension mounting. "Cover me," Rivers yells, pushing his way toward the shuttle entrance. He dodges blaster bolts, his instincts kicking in as he moves with precision. The adrenaline fuels him, and he can't afford to falter now. Finally, he reaches the shuttle, where Lyra and his team wait, ready for him. "Let's go," he shouts, diving into the shuttle just as another explosion rocks the bay. The shuttle's door closes behind him, sealing them away from the chaos outside. Inside the shuttle, Lyra is already at the controls, her fingers flying over the buttons, preparing for launch. She announces, her voice filled with urgency. As the shuttle shakes from the forces outside, Rivers takes a moment to catch his breath. "Did we lose anyone?" he asks, his voice steady despite the exhaustion creeping in. "Everyone's accounted for," Max replies, wiping sweat from his brow. "We're all safe." Rivers looks at Princess Lyra, relief washing over him. "You did great back there. We're going to get you home." "Thank you for saving me," she responds sincerely, her eyes shining with gratitude. "I couldn't have done it without you." As the shuttle begins its ascent, the sounds of battle fade away, replaced by the hum of the ship's engines. Rivers watches as they break free from the chaos of the space station and into the vastness of space. But even as they escape, he knows that the fight isn't over. Set a course for the nearest planet. Rivers instructs Lyra, knowing they need a safe place to regroup. "We have to warn our people about the rebel forces." The tension is palpable as they plot their course, the crew aware that the dangers they faced are far from behind them. They are now in unknown territory, with enemies lurking in the shadows. As they travel through space, Rivers reflects on their harrowing escape. They have survived against all odds, and the bond between humans and aliens has strengthened in the face of adversity. He knows that this is just the beginning of a new chapter in their journey. With determination in his heart, Rivers looks out into the stars, ready to face whatever challenges lie ahead. They will not be defeated easily, and together, they will find a way to overcome the darkness that threatens their worlds. The adventure continues, and the audience is left on the edge of their seats, eager to see what comes next in this gripping tale of bravery, sacrifice, and resiliency as the shuttle glides through the starry void. Captain John Rivers feels a mix of relief and tension. They've escaped the chaos of the space station, but the threat of the alien rebels looms large. Princess Lyra sits at the control panel, her expression a mix of focus and concern. Rivers knows they can't let their guard down. The rebels will not give up easily. "Where are we heading?" Lyra asks, her fingers deftly navigating the ship's controls. Her voice is steady, but Rivers can sense her unease. The nearest allied planet is Rigel 9. It has a strong military presence. "We can regroup there and figure out our next move," Rivers replies, keeping his tone calm. As they travel through the cold expanse of space, the atmosphere in the shuttle is thick with anticipation. The crew exchanges nervous glances, aware that they've narrowly escaped death. Rivers stands near the cockpit, watching the stars streak by, each one a reminder of how vast and dangerous the universe can be. Suddenly, an alert blares from the control panel. Lyra's eyes widen. "We have incoming ships. Rebel fighters are closing in on us." Panic briefly flares in the shuttle. "Everyone, prepare for battle." Rivers shouts, adrenaline coursing through his veins once more. "Lyra, can you maneuver us away?" "I'll try," she responds, determination filling her voice as she grips the controls tighter. The shuttle shakes as she adjusts its trajectory, narrowly avoiding the first volley of blaster fire. "Max, take your position," Rivers commands. Max jumps into the rear turret, ready to return fire. The other soldiers brace themselves, hearts pounding in their chests. "Here they come," Max calls out, firing at the approaching enemy ships. The sound of blaster fire fills the cabin, and Rivers can feel the tension mounting. "Keep them off us," Rivers urges as he watches the rebel ships swarm around them. Their sleek, menacing forms dart through space, unleashing a barrage of firepower aimed at the shuttle. Rivers knows they need to hold out until they reach Rigel 9, but the odds are against them. Lyra's eyes flicker with determination as she executes a series of sharp maneuvers, evading the rebels' fire. "I need more power to the engines," she yells, her voice steady despite the chaos. "Max, redirect power to the engines," Rivers orders, hoping to increase their speed. The ship shudders as Max complies, adjusting the settings. As the shuttle speeds up, The rebels struggle to keep pace. However, one enemy ship manages to break through their defenses, locking on to their position. "We've got a fighter on our tail," Max shouts, firing at the pursuing ship, but it's relentless. Rivers feels the pressure mounting as the ship's alarms blare. "Lyra, we need to get out of here. Can you find a way to lose them?" "I'll try something," she responds, her hands flying over the controls. She suddenly banks the shuttle into a tight turn, using the asteroid field nearby to their advantage. "Hold on," she shouts as they plunge into the rocky maze. The shuttle weaves through the asteroids, the rebels hot on their trail. Rivers can hear the thundering of his heart as the shuttle dodges massive rocks and debris. The crew is tense, but they trust in Lyra's skill. "Max, keep firing," Rivers urges as the first rebel fighter gets too close, narrowly missing a collision. The explosion from the blast rocks the shuttle, sending shockwaves through the cabin. Just then, an asteroid collides with one of the pursuing rebel ships, causing a chain reaction. Yes, Max cheers, but they aren't out of danger yet. Lyra guides the shuttle deeper into the asteroid field, expertly avoiding collisions. "If we can just get a little further, we might lose them," she exclaims. Rivers glances back, seeing the concentration on his team's faces. "We can do this," he shouts, trying to rally their spirits. "Keep fighting. We won't let them take us down." After what feels like an eternity, they navigate the treacherous field and break into open space. "We did it. We lost them," Lyra shouts, her voice filled with relief. The crew erupts in cheers, but Rivers knows better than to relax too soon. "Stay alert," he warns. "We don't know if they'll send reinforcements." As they set their course for Rigel 9, Rivers takes a moment to breathe, his heart still racing. "We made it," he says, looking at Lyra, who's smiling triumphantly. But even as they soar through the cosmos, Rivers can't shake the feeling of foreboding. The battles are far from over, and they have a long way to go before they can truly feel safe. Together, they will face whatever challenges lie ahead, united in their fight against the darkness that threatens their worlds. The adventure continues, and the audience is left eager for what comes next in this epic saga of bravery, sacrifice, and the strength of units. The shuttle hurtles toward Rigel 9. The atmosphere inside is a mix of exhaustion and adrenaline. The crew had just survived a harrowing escape from the clutches of the alien rebels, but Captain John Rivers knows their journey is far from over. The reality of their situation hangs heavy in the air. "Set course for the military base on Rigel 9, Rivers orders, trying to maintain a steady tone. "We need to regroup and plan our next move." Princess Lyra, still at the controls, nods in agreement. "Understood, Captain. I'll initiate the jump to hyperspace," she replies, her fingers deftly navigating the console. A brief silence fills the cabin as they prepare for the jump, each crew member lost in their thoughts, reflecting on the near disaster they had just experienced. With a flash of light, the stars blur into streaks as they enter hyperspace. Rivers feels a moment of relief wash over him, but he knows better than to relax completely. The danger might be behind them for now, but the threat of the alien rebels looms large. "Everyone, take a moment to check your gear and weapons," Rivers instructs, turning his attention to the soldiers. "We need to be ready for anything once we arrive." The crew springs into action, checking their equipment and ensuring they are prepared for whatever challenges await them on Rigel 9. As they travel through the shimmering void of hyperspace, Rivers takes a moment to observe Princess Lyra. She sits with a fierce determination etched on her face, but he can also see the weight of responsibility she carries. As an alien royal, her life is not only her own. It represents the hopes of her people. "Are you okay, Princess?" Rivers asks, breaking the silence. Lyra turns to him, her eyes bright but weary. "I'm fine, Captain. Just a little overwhelmed," she admits. "I never imagined my life would turn into this chaotic adventure. Thank you for risking everything to save me." "It's what we do," Rivers replies, trying to reassure her. But you need to be ready. We might not be safe even on Rigel 9. We'll need to find allies and strategize our next move. He knows that the fight isn't just for her life, but for the future of both humans and her people. As they exit hyperspace, the beautiful planet of Rigel 9 comes into view, a vibrant blue and green globe that seems peaceful and inviting. However, Rivers knows that beneath that facade lies danger and uncertainty. Prepare for landing, he instructs, heart racing once more. Lyra expertly maneuvers the shuttle through the atmosphere, and soon they find themselves approaching the military base. The sight of military ships and soldiers bustling about provides a sense of hope. We made it. Lyra breathes, a mixture of relief and anticipation filling her voice. But as they land, a new worry arises. We have to be careful. If the rebels have tracked us, they won't hesitate to follow. Rivers cautions. They disembark, tension radiating from the group as they step into the bustling base. The military personnel immediately notice the arrival of the alien princess and the human captain, confusion and curiosity washing over their faces. A commanding officer approaches them. Captain Rivers, Princess Lyra, we heard of the attack. Are you both all right? His concern is genuine, but Rivers can see the doubt in his eyes. The tension in the air thickens, and Rivers knows they need to act fast. We need your help. The rebel forces will come for us, Rivers states firmly. We must unite our forces and prepare for their next move. The officer nods, quickly summoning his team. Let's get you debriefed. We can't let the rebels find out you're here. Inside the command center, they share the details of their harrowing escape. As Rivers explains the situation, he notices the expressions of disbelief among the officers, particularly when he describes the rebels' advanced technology. The room buzzes with concern and determination. We must take the fight to them, one officer declares, and others agree. Rivers knows they need a plan. We can't let the rebels underestimate us. We have to show them that humans are not to be trifled with, he insists. The mood shifts from doubt to determination. The crew is filled with purpose, ready to stand together against the looming threat. Lyra, you'll need to rally your people. We can use their support, Rivers says, turning to her. She meets his gaze, a newfound resolve shining in her eyes. Absolutely, Captain. I will not let my people down, she replies, and Rivers can see her transformation from a royal in distress to a leader ready to fight for her world. With their strategy in place, Rivers and Lyra prepare for what lies ahead. They understand that the upcoming battles will not only test their strength, but also their unity. Together, they will face the unknown, ready to prove that humanity and alien royalty can forge an unbreakable alliance. The next chapter in their adventure is just beginning, and the audience is left eager for the action that lies ahead. As dawn breaks over Rigel 9, the military base is alive with energy. Soldiers move quickly, preparing for the battles to come. Captain John Rivers stands with Princess Lyra in the command center, surrounded by high-ranking officers who are finalizing the strategy. The tension is palpable, but there's a spark of hope in the air. Together, they are about to forge an alliance that could change the course of their conflict with the alien rebels. All right, listen up, barks Colonel Harris, the commanding officer of the base. We've received intel that the rebel forces are regrouping on the outskirts of the city. They're planning a full-scale assault on our base to capture Princess Lyra and use her as leverage against us. Rivers nods, absorbing the information. We need to act fast. They'll be expecting us to cower behind our walls. If we strike first, we can catch them off guard. Lyra steps forward, her voice steady and clear. We must also send a message to my people. They need to know that we stand united. I can communicate with the leaders of my faction to gather reinforcements. Excellent idea, Princess, Rivers replies, admiring her determination. But we need to do this quickly before the rebels launch their attack. With a plan in place, they split their forces. Rivers takes a team of soldiers to prepare for the front lines, while Lyra makes contact with her allies. As they gear up, Rivers can't shake off the feeling of impending doom. The rebels have shown they are ruthless, and he fears for Lyra's safety. Meanwhile, Lyra steps into a secure communication room. The holographic display flickers to life, revealing the faces of several alien leaders. "My friends, we are in grave danger. The rebels are plotting to attack our base. We must unite our forces to fight back." Her voice is strong, and the leaders nod in agreement, determined to stand by her side. As she hangs up, she feels a surge of pride. She has transformed from a sheltered royal into a fierce leader, ready to defend her people. "They'll come," she assures Rivers when they reunite. "My allies are on their way." Back at the command center, the atmosphere is electric. Soldiers gather around, weapons loaded, and faces set with determination. Rivers addresses them. "Today, we fight not just for ourselves, but for a future where humans and aliens can coexist. Let's show these rebels that we won't back down." With that, they make their way to the front lines. The sound of alarms blares through the base as reports of incoming ships flood in. "They're here," a soldier yells, and panic threatens to rise. But Rivers quickly raises his hand, silencing the room. "Stay focused. Remember the plan," he shouts, his voice steadying the crew. "We can't let fear take over. We are ready for this." As the rebel ships descend from the sky, chaos erupts outside. Explosions shake the ground as lasers streak through the air. Rivers leads his team into battle, his heart pounding with adrenaline. They engage the enemy in close-quarters combat, using every skill they have been trained in. Lyra fights alongside them, showcasing her surprising combat skills. She wields a blaster with precision, taking down enemies with a fierce determination. "Keep pushing forward," she shouts, inspiring those around her. The battlefield is a whirlwind of chaos. Rivers watches as his team pushes through the waves of alien rebels. The cries of battle mix with the sounds of blaster fire, creating a symphony of war. He knows they cannot afford to lose this fight. In the midst of the battle, Rivers spots an enemy commander, a fierce alien with gleaming armor. He knows this could be a pivotal moment. "Follow me," he yells to his squad, charging forward. The commander spots them and roars, rallying the rebels. "Kill them. Do not let them escape," he bellows, and the enemy forces intensify their attack. Rivers leads his team in a desperate charge. The two sides clash in a brutal melee. Rivers focuses on the enemy commander, dodging attacks and countering with swift moves. The tension is thick as they engage in a fierce fight, each blow resonating with the stakes of the battle. Just as Rivers seems to gain the upper hand, a blast from an enemy's weapon knocks him off balance. He stumbles, but before he can recover, the commander lunges at him with a blade. In that split second, everything slows down. Rivers knows he must act fast. With a burst of instinctive strength, he sidesteps and counters with a strike of his own. The blade meets the armor of the commander, and the two continue to clash. The struggle represents not just a personal battle, but a larger fight between hope and despair. Suddenly, Lyra appears at his side, firing her blaster and taking out the commander's reinforcements. "We've got this, Captain," she encourages, and together they push against the overwhelming odds. As the battle rages on, the tide begins to turn. Reinforcements from Lyra's faction arrive, bolstering their numbers. The rebels, once confident in their attack, begin to falter. Rivers feels a spark of hope as they push forward, reclaiming the battlefield. In the chaos, Rivers catches sight of the alien commander retreating, a look of defeat on his face. "After them," he yells, rallying his troops. "We can't let them escape." With newfound energy, they pursue the rebels, determined to secure their victory and protect their alliance. The battle is far from over, but as they fight side by side, Rivers knows they have a chance to prove their strength together. The audience is left on the edge of their seats, eager to see how the conflict will unfold and how far these unlikely allies will go to protect one another. As the dust begins to settle after the fierce battle on Rigel 9, Captain John Rivers and Princess Lyra stand amidst the remnants of the chaos. Smoke lingers in the air, and the cries of the wounded echo through the makeshift medical tents. The battlefield, once filled with chaos, now lies quiet except for the sound of soldiers tending to the injured. They had fought valiantly, and the victory was theirs, but at a great cost. Rivers surveys the area, his heart heavy. Many brave soldiers lost their lives during the attack. Each loss cuts deeply, reminding him of the fragility of their alliance. He turns to Lyra, who stands by his side, her expression a mix of determination and sorrow. "We must honor their sacrifice," she says, her voice steady but laced with emotion. "They fought to protect something greater than themselves." "I know," Rivers replies, trying to hold back his own emotions. "But we have to prepare for what's next. The rebels won't give up easily. They will regroup and retaliate." Lyra nods, understanding the stakes. "We need to show them that we stand united. The galaxy is watching us. If we falter now, all will be lost." They gather their remaining forces in the command tent, a large structure illuminated by flickering lights. Soldiers murmur among themselves, exchanging stories of heroism and loss. Rivers takes a deep breath and stands before them, his heart pounding with a mix of resolve and fear. "Everyone, listen up," he calls out, raising his voice to command attention. "We've suffered losses today, but we've also proven that we can fight together. We have shown the rebels that they can't just push us around. We stand as one." The soldiers cheer, their spirits lifted by Rivers' words. Lyra steps forward, her presence commanding. "As your princess and ally, I promise to fight beside you. We will not let fear dictate our fate. Together, we will push back against those who threaten our peace." With their spirits ignited, they devise a new strategy. Rivers and Lyra work together, pooling their knowledge and experience. They discuss the rebels' tactics, analyzing their strengths and weaknesses. The bond between them grows stronger as they share ideas and insights. "I've sent a message to my allies," Lyra informs him. "They're ready to join us for the next battle. We need to strike at their base while they are vulnerable. It's time to take the fight to them." Rivers smiles, impressed by her leadership. "Then let's move quickly. We have a window of opportunity, and we can't let it slip away." As they finalize their plans, a soldier bursts into the tent. "Captain, Princess, we have an emergency." His voice is frantic. "The rebels are regrouping faster than we anticipated. They're mobilizing their forces for a counterattack." Rivers feels his heart race again. "We need to rally our troops immediately. Prepare the defenses," he commands, his mind racing with strategies. With urgency, they gather the soldiers and prepare for the incoming assault. The atmosphere is tense as everyone moves quickly, setting up barricades and loading weapons. Lyra works alongside the soldiers, her determination shining through the stress of the moment. As night falls over Rigel 9, the calm before the storm settles. The stars twinkle above, but the tension on the ground is palpable. Rivers stands on a ridge, scanning the horizon. He can see the distant glow of lights as the rebel forces prepare for their next move. "Do you think they'll come?" Lyra asks, standing beside him, her voice barely above a whisper. "They have to," Rivers replies. "They won't let us get away with this. We've made our stand, and now they'll retaliate. But we'll be ready." The soldiers hold their positions, adrenaline coursing through their veins as they wait. Minutes feel like hours, and every rustle in the darkness sets their hearts racing. Suddenly, the ground shakes as explosions light up the sky. The rebels have arrived. "Here they come," Rivers shouts, grabbing his weapon and rallying his troops. "Hold your positions. We can do this." The night erupts into chaos once again as blaster fire illuminates the darkness. Rivers fights alongside his team, dodging enemy fire and returning shots with precision. He fights not just for survival, but for the alliance they have forged and for the people who believe in their cause. As the battle rages on, Rivers finds himself back-to-back with Lyra. They cover each other, their movements synchronized as they push against the onslaught of rebel forces. In that moment, they are not just a captain and a princess. They are allies, fighting for their shared vision of peace. Amidst the chaos, Rivers spots the rebel commander once more. This time, he feels a sense of determination to put an end to the threat once and for all. "Let's finish this," he yells to Lyra, and they charge together into the fray, ready to confront the enemy head-on. The clash of blasters and the cries of battle create a cacophony that fills the air. The audience is on the edge of their seats, eager to see if Rivers and Lyra can overcome the darkness and secure their future. The outcome of the battle hangs in the balance, and with it, the fate of their alliance.